Hey everyone, I'm Charting Man Dan with the Chart Guys. I've been trading for the last 13 plus years, and after a week on the road, I'm back to check in on the markets. There's volatility out there in some of our crypto stocks, along with some low cap names that NVDA is invested in. We've certainly got rotation taking place as well. We'll see where the money is flowing. Let's get to the charts. So SPY is a potential daily bull flag. The bulls are keeping full control. They're just fine. 50302 short-term support. If that breaks, we get some gap fill, but really it's just the daily uptrend. And one thing that's most notable for me is we're still in melt-up mode as far as I'm concerned from the October low. We have not confirmed a daily downtrend in SPY since that low. So that means 4 months now with no lower high and lower low. The NASDAQ has done it a couple of times with no follow-through. SPY hasn't done it. So again, you recognize patterns, and I can say SPY has not confirmed a daily downtrend in at least 4 months. And I now know the next time SPY confirms a daily downtrend, it will catch my attention. I'll say something is different, and I'll say that's a shift away from the melt-up mode. But as long as we're in a daily uptrend, we're in melt-up mode. And the weekly time frame here is a stair-step pattern with a higher low every week for the last 2 months right now. That's a melt-up. Look at that. It's impressive. So the NASDAQ's a bit more choppy, and that has to do with semiconductor volatility, in my opinion. And I've been watching this 4-hour equilibrium on the NASDAQ for a short-term guide. We were just tightening up. We broke bear with zero follow-through. Apple had news come out and shot up, and so now we're testing resistance. But just looking at the NASDAQ here, similar little daily bull flag attempt. And there's your daily downtrend with zero follow-through. And again, a lot more choppy with the NASDAQ, but still holding on strong. If you want to keep it simple, weekly EMA 12 is a nice guide. If that is support, nothing is changing. Bulls keep control. We can see Apple off of its support zone. There's been a lot of relative weakness in Apple, but indisputable that the bulls are defending 179 to 180 with a nice bounce off that level yet again. Look at Apple divided by QQQ. We are the weakest we have been compared to the NASDAQ in years in Apple. That's a long time. It's just rotation. It's semiconductors stealing the narrative of being the big thing for the NASDAQ heavily weighted tech indice, and Apple fading a bit. And part of the bump was, hey, we're not doing the car anymore. We're going to focus on AI stuff. And okay, there you get your bump. So rotation, I've been saying this the last couple of weeks in our little videos and Twitter and everything, is when the semiconductors top out, does money leave the market and everything pulls back with it? Or do we rotate into small caps and into growth names? And we're seeing that rotation. We can see the semiconductors, we'll check in on them first. So SMH sideways, no red flags. It confirmed a daily downtrend as well. NVDA earnings certainly helped hold full control. But again, there's no red flags. And I've been watching, of course, NVDA, which is still very strong, trying for a daily bull flag there as well. But SMCI, I've been loving the volatility on this name. And we've been getting the most likely scenarios. We knew to scout the daily high or low. We knew to scout the daily low or high. On last Friday was a beautiful double top at 1,000 into a 15% pullback, 17% pullback. Its volatility is beautiful, but I'm looking for this equilibrium to keep tightening up. I'm looking for a daily high or low in the short term. And then next week, we'll look for this tightening range to break. And if it breaks bear, it's going to be bearish for semiconductors. It'll be a point in favor of the bears for the semiconductors for some more longer term consolidation. And if it breaks bull, we're going to look right back up at that all-time high and keep the euphoria going. And there's definitely euphoria in markets. Crypto's got euphoria. Of course, semiconductors have euphoria. Broader markets got the melt-up euphoria. And so that doesn't mean fight the bulls. It just do a psychological experiment where you just remind yourself, we are in euphoria. I'm looking long as we're in euphoria, but I know how euphoria ends. We go from FOMO to fear and fear to FOMO as fast as possible. And so the harder we run, the harder we're going to pull back. And I'm going to be aware of that, and I'm going to look for signs of that. But in the meantime, I'm going to enjoy the trends while they are still present. So just remind yourself of that, because markets have a tendency to lull you into a sense of complacency. And then, it's just always up and I'm going to buy every dip. And next thing you know, there's your 15% pullback and it catches you completely off guard. So even just reminding yourself, We're euphoria. I know how euphoria ends. Just that little thought exercise will make you a bit more prepared when things do meaningfully shift. When's the last time all of our major sectors have hit the low of the day at the same time? QQQ, XLF, XLV? I don't know. It's been a long time. We know in the bear market it would happen all the time. When it starts happening more frequently, it'll stand out to us that things are shifting. But in the meantime, we have the rotation going on. And not only, NVDA's got its headlines, but NVDA put out info that it was, investing in some companies. And we had this tight range on SOUN. And Lori was all over that bull break yesterday. Big gap up open today. Tons of volatility. Hourly back burner will be on the table. Next time we start daily consolidation, we look for hourly oversold. And in addition to SOUN, we have other names like NNOX. Daily higher low set, big bull move, earnings not out yet. They're later today. But here's an example. I posted this on Twitter, but of just how trading is a team game, where I started the morning saying, SOUN, all bull, watch the other names. Watch NNOX and RXRX as sympathy plays because NVDA invested in them as well. And the market loves to attach to narratives, just like when Wall Street Bets was headhunting shorts. So, okay, here's a name that just ran 40% in 2 days, 50%, more than that, a lot of percent in 2 days. Let's look at the other names to potentially catch a bid. And so I post that in the morning, and then I get sidetracked, and I'm trading MARA and crypto stocks, and Dove here in the chat room posts just this simple post, pushing for high of day. Doesn't say buy, doesn't tell me what to do. I have to utilize my own skill sets, but, we're pushing the high of day. Oh yeah, okay. So at that point in time, we were up 1019 was the high of the day, and we were testing it. And so my mindset is, okay, well, if we're going to break the high of the day, I'm watching for that rotation to pick up. And so I market buy that high of the day break. I help that high of the day break. I'm in at 1030. I start scaling out fairly quickly because I'm chasing a little bit at that point, just in the sense that there's no support level nearby. So I take some off, 1060, and then I just let it go and ended up having this position, forget until where, but I think my last stop out was maybe around $11 here towards the start of the afternoon. Either way, it ended up being a 7% trade and a day maker. And the point is, having hundreds of eyes, that reminded me, like, hey, don't forget, like, oh yeah, there's an opportunity. And that was the best trade I had on the day. And I would have missed that trade had someone not made me aware of it. So again, hundreds of eyes are better than two. Trading can be a team game. So we'll see what the earnings reactions are for these names. But again, as a day trader, I just know these names are going to have volatility on a day in, day out basis until they start tightening up. Just like SMCI. SMCI had insane volatility every day. Now it's tightening up. It's going to slow down. Then it's going to break the tightening range and pick back up again. And so we're watching for SOUN to top out, pull back a bunch, see a daily high or low. The same thing. I mean, it's the same pattern that keeps playing out in extremely volatile names and markets. But the rotation is taking place. IWM, nothing crazy, but a nice few green days in a row here. And we're back to testing the recent highs. Bulls in full control as long as weekly EMA 12 holds. And if the bulls can get over 205.49, we'll be back to the highest level that we've been at in almost 2 years. And so with that, you got names like XBI, which is just a monster the last few days. This is a cup and handle. 94.32, you come up, you fail resistance by pennies, you bull flag off EMA 12, and then you confirm the cup and handle. And so that was a monster move the last couple of days. I had FOMO on this one. As I mentioned, I've been road tripping. I've been away from the markets and, not constantly staring at the screen, but looked at this one and said, oh man, I would have loved to buy that daily higher low. And just saw it too late. Not going to chase at this point. If we gap up tomorrow, I'll be looking bearish just for hourly consolidation, and then we'll scout an hourly higher low. But the biotech sector clearing a big time resistance zone. And that's the pattern that the markets have been seeing is growth names led the way down in terms of percentage drops. The semiconductors, the big tech names led the bounce. And then you get this wall of resistance like this. And then when the names finally break it, they get a lot of follow through. Look at Coin. Coin in the crypto world did it back here. Beautiful back test into continuation. SOUN did it. Once you break 511, there's nothing nearby. ARM did it a while ago when we had, the daily range at the 56s that then broke out. The point is there's a bunch of names, a bunch of growth names doing that. Hood is trying to do it now. Nice strong close on Hood. But again, it's just getting to a multiple year level where if you break it, there's nothing nearby. Where's Hood? Where's Hood's next resistance after 1649? It just opens up significantly. And so, what was I talking about? Biotech sector, getting over that level opens things up significantly. And this follow through is a benefit. VKTX, is that it? Yep, so this was a big reason. Weight loss drug, perfect for lazy Americans. You don't have to work out, just take a pill. Anyways, don't get me started. But the market likes it. Huge day. That definitely was a factor in the biotech sector. And a strong close. So we'll keep an eye. Again, just another name. If you're a day trader, I don't need to prepare today for tomorrow. I can say, all right, I know this name's going to have significant volatility. I wake up tomorrow. I see where we're trading. I see where the broader market's at. Are we near support? Are we near resistance? What's the most likely scenario? I'll scout an hourly high or low eventually. As far as the other major sectors, XLF just keeping the uptrend going. Nothing to worry about. All-time highs on the horizon. No, we already got it. All-time highs. Remember we were watching this 2-month equilibrium? Look at that. There's the drawing still there. The bull break was 35, and here we are following through to all-time highs. Remember we were watching XLV, 2-month equilibrium. Bull break into all-time highs. So they're both just riding daily uptrends. Nothing fancy or spectacular about their moves the last month. Just bull control, grinding higher, and just keeping the bulls confident overall. There's definitely more significant opportunity elsewhere, but slow and steady, nothing wrong with that. Crypto stocks, massive volatility the last 2 days as Bitcoin breaks out and approaches all-time highs, currently about maybe 15% away or so, maybe 20. Yeah, 20 plus percent away. But big move for crypto. And so again, it's another one where, I'm not doing anything on the morning. I'm waiting because I know, and we just shot up all day yesterday, and then we had a big gap up, and I know an hourly higher low is the most likely scenario. And so I made 2 attempts at the hourly higher low. And I forget where my first one was, but I, make an entry attempt. I sell partial into a bounce. I stop out break even, say, nope, that's not the hourly higher low. And then I make the attempt again. And so just the mindset of this trade, I missed the 15-minute oversold bounce, but I look at it and say, okay, MARA, solid 15-minute oversold bounce. And at this point in time, we're trading. It was a 5-minute. It was here. So we had just seen this bounce, and we were looking for the pullback. So I say space for a 5-minute higher low to be the result of the next pullback. 5-minute uptrend needs to confirm for the hourly higher low to be set. I know an hourly higher low is the most likely scenario. I now know that we have a big enough bounce to scout the 5-minute higher low. So I'm in for the 5-minute higher low. I think I got filled at like 29.08. I sell a third, and I put my stop under that low. And I say that's either the higher low or I'm wrong. 28.89 stop. Just missed getting stopped out. 15-minute uptrend confirms. Hourly higher low set. I know I'm making it sound really simple, but once you do this for 150 times, it is very simple. I know it's the most likely scenario. If I'm wrong, I stop out with minimal risk. If I'm right, it's a solid win. So I'm all out of this trade. Not going to swing anything with Bitcoin a bit too extended and also having exposure in crypto itself. But now I'm going to scout an hourly lower high tomorrow on Riot, who is weaker. And if Riot confirms an hourly downtrend, we'll zoom out. And it'll be a hard rejection from this resistance zone. The dollar, all about the monthly for me. Is a monthly lower high being set? We got the low, high, higher low. Is this the lower high? We'll know within a week or two. The direction that this breaks is going to have significant implications for me in the broader market as far as risk on or bears starting to prove something. Overall, the weekly is still just fine for the bulls after that bounce. But again, I just care about the monthly. Metal's still weak overall, And I have exited my metals positions, stopped out. What was that? We had a fundamental reaction. I don't know if it was CPI or jobs or what, but I stopped out of my runner metals positions and still keeping an eye on things, silver, but it's just there's opportunity cost, right? Silver hasn't done anything for over a year, and even gold, which had a nice move up, but it hasn't done anything for months. So obviously there's much more trading opportunity elsewhere while the metals try and sort themselves out. Oil also has a monthly equilibrium, very similar to the dollar, low, high, higher, low, and now we're going to scout a potential monthly lower high, anything under 85.75 on the April futures contract. The direction that this breaks is going to have significant implications on the energy sector. Is this, what I'm watching for, is this a monthly head and shoulders forming? And I made a bear attempt on the energy sector previously, and it worked for a bit. I wanted the big drop, the long-term bear move, but you're not going to get that without a bear oil break. So keeping an eye out for an hour or for a monthly lower high in the dollar, in oil, and in energy, but bears have proving to do there. It's a lot of talking. I think I'm done. Good to see you all. Appreciate the likes and the shares. Don't forget to do good things. We'll see you soon.